Yeah, so we'll just jump to this clip where he talks about kids and family, which, I think people really need to start listening to this message.
That is, nothing else matters but your family. And if you have the opportunity, and a lot of people are being denied the opportunity to have children, and this messing with the gender roles, and I'm not even talking about the tranny stuff. I mean, feminism has so destroyed people's brains and the ability of young people to connect with each other and stay together and have fruitful lives. It's like nothing's been more destructive than that.
I will comment on my take on feminism after this little clip, but we'll keep going here because, man, do I ever agree that modern feminism has become a virus.
It's such a lie. It's so dumb. It's counter to human nature, and nothing counter to human nature can endure. It can only cause suffering, and that's what it's done. But fight that. Stop complaining about it. Find someone. By the way, everyone gets together, most people get together on the basis in a Western society where there's no arranged marriages. They get together on the basis of sexual attraction. Totally natural. Get off your birth control and have children. Oh, I can't afford that. Well, yeah, you'll figure out a way to afford it once you have kids. It's like it's chicken and the egg, but it's actually not. When you have responsibility, when you have no choice, this is true of men. I'm not sure if it's true of women, but it's definitely true of men. You will not achieve until you have no choice. As I always think of men do nothing until they have to. But once they have to, they will do anything. That is true. Men will do nothing unless they have to, but once they have to, they will do anything. I really believe that from watching and from being one. And I would never have done anything if I didn't have to, but I had to.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I mean, I had you when I was 20 years old, and by no means was I prepared, and by no means was I in any state to be ready for fatherhood. But I made it work. I made it happen. And, and most people will make it work. They will make it happen. It's so rare that somebody regrets having children, So if that's the case, why would people push and promote this idea of not having children? It's rooted in evil. It's rooted in evil. But let's keep hearing what he has to say.
And I would just recommend it. But by the way, even if you don't succeed, and even if you're poor, having spent my life among rich people, I grew up among rich people. I am a rich person. Boy, are they unhappy. Well, that's clearly not the road to happiness. You don't want to be a debt slave or starve to death or anything like that. But like making $1 billion, that's not worth doing. Don't do that. Don't even try to do that. If you create something that's beautiful and worth having and you make $1 billion, okay, then you have to deal with your $1 billion, which will be the worst part of your life, trust me. But seeking money for its own sake is a dead end. What you should seek for its own sake is children. Talk about a creative act. Last thing I'll say, the whole point of life is to create, okay? The act of creation, which is like dying in the West, in the arts, and in its most pure expression, which is children, that's all that's worth doing while you're alive, is creating something beautiful. And creating children, by the way, it's super fun. It's not hard. I can get more technical off the air if you want.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah. He's absolutely right. And it's nice to hear Tucker talk about this because the whole concept of feminism has become such a virus of division. If you really wanted to divide the people, what is the fastest way to divide the people? There's two genders, so you go after the genders. There's tons of different races. There's tons of different nationalities and cultures and religions. But if you want to divide the people, what is the fastest route to dividing a nation? And that is divide the genders. And if you want to add fuel to the fire, you simultaneously introduce new genders. So that now you have, men being this minority in a society full of females and all these other LGBTQ genders. And when you really think about it, what is currently taking place in our society is weak men have become the virus. Weak men have become the virus, and hurt women have become the hosts. With each woman who, when she gets hurt by a man, by a weak man who doesn't understand how to protect her, she goes on and she adopts the modern feminist ideology. And she believes that men are the enemy, and her emotions take over, and only up until she meets another man, and then she's ready to be in another relationship. But if she meets another beta male, she will succumb to the feminist ideology again. And that relationship will fail again, or it will enter into this new uprise of ethically non-monogamous relationships, because women seek out testosterone. And if they're in a relationship with a man who isn't offering that testosterone, she's going to seek it out. She's going to request to have, orgies and threesomes and, whatever other means she can find a way to meet a man who's going to introduce testosterone, which really is just the vaccine to modern feminism. Testosterone is the vaccine. And it's so pathetic nowadays when you see all these weak men who are typically liberal beta males. That's Jesse, whatever that guy's.
Betas!
Like, the amount of women in my career that I met who, when you meet their partners or their husbands or their boyfriends and he comes across as a very strong alpha male, my clients always spoke positively of their partner. But when I would meet their weak beta male type husband, it made perfect sense as to why they were so flirtatious with me all the time, because they would flirt aggressively with me. But my clients who were in, these relationships with strong men, they did nothing but talk about their guy in the most positive way. They never spoke negatively about him. To think Tucker Carlson could be ridiculed by people after watching this interview, again, go ahead, watch the Lex Fridman Tucker Carlson interview. And if you still think that Tucker Carlson is a partisan hack and he's doing the bidding of, the conspiracy right, then there's no hope for you.